ask Miss Charlotte Pierce, if you would say a prayer, and Commissioner Terry, say the pledge.
Let's join in. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity to live in the beautiful city that we do. We pray for our commissioners that you would give them wisdom as you, Father, to watch over our military wherever they may be serving. For these things we ask in your most holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
All right. Moving on down the agenda to the consent agenda, for the meeting minutes from our special meeting on 9/22/25 on pages 1 through 3. Any concerns with the minutes? Questions? Hearing none, we have a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Langston.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hoffman. Anyone from the public on the minutes? No one from the public. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Mr. Attorney.
Yes, just a quick update. I know at the last meeting, the board voted to have me file an injunction against Tallulah. I just want to let you know that that has been filed, and I'm trying to get a hearing set as quickly as possible. Unless you guys have any other questions.
All right, city engineer, Mr. Baxter.
Good afternoon. You guys have the update from you pretty short today. First item is the city government complex. The field work for the geotechnical investigation is complete and the report is currently being compiled. We expect to get that report in the next week or so. From then we should be wide open on the design portion, on the civil design portion. The architect is in a good place right now as far as building layout, so we should be able to go full blast with design here within the next week or so. We already have the master plan, so we're at about 30% right now just to move forward with the stormwater and all we need at geotech. Downtown Utilities Phase 2, that project is wrapped up, except for the as-built survey, which was the final item required from the contractor, final pay request. And we are communicating with those guys and we're not getting much back from them right now, but we're hoping to have that soon and be able to close that project out on the books anytime. HMGP grant, that's the elevation of the 12 lift stations. That project started on October 1st. Kenny Strange Electric doing those improvements to the lift stations. Downtown alleys and Avenue A stormwater, I mentioned both of those because they're both in the same spot. The field work is complete for the survey. We're waiting on the drone survey and we'll be able to begin design services on both of those as soon as we get the drone survey. That's all I got.
I got one question. Jim, that issue that I was talking to you about, just around the corner from him here, is that a lift station? Is that one of these 12 lift stations? Yes.
No, sir, it's not one of the 12
Okay, I
included.
didn't think it.
We did replace a pump in there this past weekend there, so, we believe that the life expectancy of that station is much better now that we replaced one in there. Unfortunately, with lift stations in there, so from time to time, you're gonna have a problem.
And I guess the question for you would be, both of you, do we need to involve the engineer in solving the problem with the issue at Heron Wall?
I don't think so, because the other ones are elevated because they were in harm's way from storm surge.
Right.
This was a problem, an electrical problem, I believe. I let Mr. Grant explain.
It was, yes, there's an electrical station, which, no different than coil and alternator. I mean,
Okay. Well,
mechanical.
the reason I mention it, if you get to the point that we have to have an engineer come in and look at alleviating the problem of raw sewage going on neighbor's yard, then I'm more than willing to get the engineer involved, but we have to solve that problem. There's no excuse for that, so anyway, just keep that in mind and if comes to your desk.
Yes.
Thank you.
More questions?
Quick question. So on the downtown utility space too, so the contractor is now, they're out, correct?
They're out. When we say they're out, they still owe us an as-built survey. And of course, the final invoice. That as-built survey is done at the end. It locates the utilities. But yes, they're done with their work. They're off the ground.
Jim, this is regards now over at the public parking we provide off of First Street.
Yes.
The trailer that's there right now, which is a cargo trailer and heavy equipment, there's a piece back in the back. Does that belong to them?
I believe so. Now, they're actually working on two projects. I don't know, I'm sure if this is related to the CDBG grant where they're rehabbing the 3 lift stations. So I think they still need that equipment there for the rehab of the Hodge Street, Clifford Sims and 20th Street lift station. We can check on the.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
It needs to go.
Once the contractor's done, I want stuff to be removed.
Their final,
So the public has.
their final completion date for that sewer work is October 23rd. So
Okay.
Yeah, they can put money in the budget to kind of clean that up.
Yeah.
So the contractor got out on.
Yeah, we'll get it there.
Thanks.
Oh, good job. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Oh, good.
So the first time we have is current city projects that we're working on pages 4 and 5. If there's any questions from the board. If there's not any question, we'll move on to new business. I think the first time we had on there, Commissioner Lang, we're going to talk to you today about pickleball courts at the Washington Gym Complex.
Yeah, I talked with, Commissioner King, you want to do, interlocal agreement for the pickleball courts. Thank you, y'all already discussed that once. I thought we had to have, money in the budget. They want us to give 50,000, they'll give 50,000, give these 2 courts, at the Washington Gym. So if we can get approval from, if I can get approval from the board for interlocal agreement, we go ahead and start the work with that, right now.
Where are we gonna pull the money from? What? We got the money.
So recreation projects, we generalized that category. We have 286,000 in that. I know we have the Stackhouse rehab we talked about. We got the 300,000 for the Core Park bathrooms, which is separate. So that's really the big item that we had earmarked in that 286.
I think one of my only concerns is the roof there at the gym.
Well, we already started on the,
No, sir, it's on the agenda coming up, so that's the kind of things we gotta think about. If you'll look, there's a sheet we handed on the new budget we just started. We got roughly $286,000 for recreation programs. For maintenance of buildings throughout the city, we only got 40K, so we've got the gym that we're about to talk about, roof, which the low bid was a little over $100,000. The city commission chambers, this building here, roughly is gonna be, if you go with the low bid, it's $40,000, and then you got pickleball plus the stack house. So we got $286,000 to work with this year is what we gotta decide on, which items are we gonna prioritize.
so then with us, doing the pickleball court, we won't have the funds to do the roof of the gym or
We got $286,000 to work with.
okay, well,
Right now, the low bid for the Washington Gym, if y'all approve in a few minutes, I think is $101,000, so there'll be 101. Okay, let's look at it, make sure. And then we have the commission chamber roof, which is here. Low bid on it is on page 28. The low bid, if you elect the low bid, would be call it $40,000. So that gets you to that. And then we haven't went out to bid for the stack house plans that y'all asked us to do with some remodels, so we don't know what that number's gonna come back at. Anything else we can think of that we you
That would leave you about 95,000.
about 95,000 or leave you back for the whole year. So you got money in there now to do it, if you can think it as long as that's all you want to do for this year. That's what we got to decide. Where's your priorities at for this year?
We hadn't done anything on the stack house.
So we haven't went out to bid yet. We've got the plans ready to go. We haven't bid. I don't know which one.
Do that money have to come out of recreation, Mike? Can we find that $50,000 from somewhere else to put into?
The, streets and highways, we don't have any of the buildings repair in there. No, sir, I don't think we have anything else that would fit that category. Certainly, we have the money, 150 in there for the Williams parking lot, but I think that's gonna take most of that.
We're going out for bid. We haven't bid that out yet, and we're working on that. So that's the other big project. We got the parking lot that we haven't bid out yet and the stack house. But, you know, right now there's money. It just comes down in 3 or 4 months from now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 20K in recreation supplies, which we usually buy, new swing set or park benches, that kind of purchases, but that 20K available there in recreation supplies.
Can we pull money from the CRA for a pickleball court?
Is it fall in that area?
As long as, the key things with that is hypothetically, yes, if you do a couple of things, as long as it's not your capital improvement plan for the city, it has to be separate from in the CRA boundaries, but if it's in the boundaries, hypothetically, yes, there is potential.
Like I say, we find the money in the city budget, and then if it turns out that we are allowed to use some of the money from the CRA budget, which would start after January 1,
Right, the new budget.
we might we could maybe work too, but I'd like to see the project move forward.
I think the only thing is if you allocate it to come out of city funds, I don't think you can go back later on and say you can go to the CRA.
And
That's the only.
I understand. I still would like to see this get done.
Me myself, $50,000, for a pickleball court, we should be able to find that. I mean, we find it for everything else. Let's find the $50,000. Let's get the pickleball court done and Washington gym. Because we have people that want to come out and play pickleball and have nowhere to go unless they go over there to, by the bank and it's already full. So let's try to figure something out. I'll discuss it with, Commissioner Quinn, and let's just keep it on the books for the next meeting, because I want to continue to discuss it. I think it's really needed.
I'm ready to get it done today.
Okay, well, let's
Give me a motion,
I'll make a motion that we find the $50,000, with the understanding that the county is going to show up with their portion of matching funds. Yeah.
motion by, Commissioner Hall, second by, Commissioner Langston. Anybody from the public? Pickleball court.
Christy McElroy, Port St. Joe, just to make sure that we're on the same page, because sometimes when you deal with the county, things can alter. So is it $50,000 for 2 courts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
No, it'd be 100,000 for the two.
okay, so the other 50,000 has to come from the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are they going to be also advertising that when they advertise pickleball courts with their TDC?
I would imagine so.
Okay, I think that's, you know, to your point, I understand that, you know, those courts can get kind of full down by the bay, but you also have courts at Salinas Park. And so, again, we want to make sure the return on investment for those people that want to play pickleball. And have you talked to the neighbors? Are there any neighbors that are going to be near those courts?
Well, it'll be at Washington gym, so it'll probably be a few, but not many. But I
Okay,
did talk to some neighbors about, putting a pickleball court there, so that's
okay,
as far as I went.
all right. And then I guess one other question. So you're doing roofs And Washington Gym can be one of the most complex roofs. And as we've all talked about, you really need that, that gym. We all need that gym. So if you get into it, do you have, I know you got the lowest bid, but a lot of times when you start getting into a project of that magnitude, you will have change orders. So is that, Jim, has that been built in any?
Right now, we have $286,000 that we're trying to work with to figure out what we will do for this year.
Okay,
In part for Rex.
so between pickleball courts and if you fall short on the gym, I would hope that you would finish the gym first. Okay, thank you.
Anybody that comes up and speaks, will you please sign in for Ms. Charlotte? All right. Anybody else for the vote? Pickleball course. All right. Motion passes 4-0.
The next item we have is an offer to purchase some property. If you turn over to pages 6 and 9, over the last couple of months, we've had several cell tower companies approach the city about bringing in new equipment. And I believe we have somebody here today to address the board in reference to this.
Good afternoon, everyone, commissioners, community. My name is Denise Vickers. I'm a licensed realtor with Keller Williams Success Realty. Our office is located here on Cecil Costa Boulevard in Port St. Joe. And I'm joined by my client, Jeff Ray with PEA Engineering. And together we're here representing Liberty Networks, LLC, a global internet leader. In May, the Gulf County Board of County Commissioners approved a site near Salinas Park in Cape San Blas as a landing zone for Liberty Networks underseas telecommunications transmission lines. This is critical infrastructure that helps strengthen global internet and communication, and that contract was fully executed last week. This project requires the construction of an approximately 10 to 15,000 square foot telecom exchange building within a 6-mile radius of that landing zone at near Salinas Park. As I was hired by my client to help them find land to build such a building. And as I searched for vacant land for Liberty Networks, it was difficult to find an appropriate parcel listed for sale that met the needs. So I began looking at off-market property, and we identified the 57 acres owned by the city of Port St. Joe off of Field of Dreams Avenue, identified as Gulf County parcel 03072-005R as an ideal location due to the proximity to the landing zone, the FEMA flood zone designations, as well as the likelihood for favorable zoning designation. Last month, I submitted a letter to Mr. Anderson to request to purchase approximately 3 acres of that 57-acre parcel to build this telecom exchange building. And as you'll see, I believe you have our letter of intent in your packet that's been submitted as part of the public record. I've been authorized to offer $500,000 cash for the purchase of a roughly 3-acre section of that parcel. This proposal, though, is more than a $500,000 land transaction. It's about investment and partnership. The construction phase of the project will generate local jobs and engage area contractors and service providers. And once complete, the telecom exchange building will create a few permanent jobs, highly skilled, well-paying roles that will have a multiplying effect in the local economy as those employees live, work, and spend their money right here in Port St. Joe. More importantly, perhaps, the facility will also contribute to the ongoing ad valorem tax revenue, providing the city with a stable long-term income stream from what is currently underutilized land. Liberty Networks is committed to being a good corporate citizen in Port St. Joe. The company has a track record of community engagement and economic investment in the communities that it calls home. We understand the vision for that tract of land is a future sports complex, and we feel that this will integrate perfectly with that vision. And while it's too early to outline any specific initiatives, Liberty fully expects to play a constructive role in supporting community development and partnering with local leadership to enhance infrastructure and opportunity. Liberty Networks wants to work with you, the city, to ensure this project aligns with your long-term vision for the Field of Dreams property and collaborate to structure a deal to everyone's benefit, the community's benefit. Thank you for this opportunity to discuss this proposal. We're happy to answer any questions and look forward to hopefully partnering on this important investment in the Port St. Joe community. Thank you.
Sure, Joe. The first thing, I spoke to, the city manager yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon, and the first thing that came to mind is seed money for the Field of Dreams project. But there's a lot of moving pieces to that because I know there's stipulations in our deed on that 56 acres. So, we're gonna have to look into that first and foremost. Our attorney would have to.
Yeah, we'd have, St. Joe Company would have to.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anybody else from the board?
I've got a just quick statement. And you, either one of you may not be aware, but we've actually had two other, one local businessman want to buy some of the property, and that was a no. Then we had a developer, I believe out of Tallahassee, that wanted to build townhouses, houses. That was a solid no. So, and just let me cut the chase. I'm still a solid no, because I want all of that land for our kids and our community. One of these days when we actually have the funding, I want to give it back to the community, not to an investment company, not to a home developer, and not to a business. That land in my mind is sacred to the community. So I will be not supporting the idea. But what I said all that to say, it wouldn't be fair, even if I flip-flopped and decided, okay, I'll be a politician today and change my mind real quick. I would feel obligated to at least engage the two people that come here first. And they would have to have a shot at the same property. So for those reasons, I'm out.
I feel like I'm on a reality television program.
It sounded that way.
Shark Tank. It sounded.
Yes, yeah. But anyway,
Thank you for your candor, sir.
thank you.
I appreciate that.
Anybody else on this?
I mean, I agree with Scott. I think obviously we have acquired that land through St. Joe Company with the hopes of one day writing good grants, getting people in place that can secure the funding we need to create. With the growth we're gonna have, we do need to have a Field of Dreams, whether it's the Field of Dreams, whatever it is, a sports complex, for what they specified that for. Now, when you start planning those type different things, it does take money. Of course it does. If there was a way to make something work together and it worked with all entities involved, and you can use that as seed money to start your sports complex, that would be something for me to look at. But again, I think we have to legally look at what's even possible to be done with this property. And remember, what the original mission was.
Then, just to piggyback off of that, that property was designated for the Field of Dreams. And so with future, expectations of moving to that area, which is a good idea to use the money as seed money to put into that property. But at the moment, I think we need to just focus on, other ways of bringing in income to get something done over there. Now, that's not saying a no to me, because I think $500,000 sounds good as far as putting it back into that area if you want to start a sports complex. So, I guess right now, I need to think about it a little more. I would like to table it and talk about it a little more, because it does have some interest, but that's how I am, where I am right now. So I like to see the Field of Dreams become the Field of Dreams, and it seems like we're never gonna have the funding, so 500,000 is a good start. So that's what I'm at.
So what you're saying is you'd like to table it and let the attorney look into it? Okay. I'll need a motion on that.
So move. table,
So move the table,
discuss.
and further discussion, yeah, okay. Motion by Commissioner Langston to table, and further discussion.
I'll second it, but do want to say, I think it's very important that we get community outreach.
Right.
We need to hear from the community. We represent the citizens of Port St. Joe. So when these kind of things come forward, it's only fair to give due diligence to the community, to get their input. What are your pros? What are your cons? And then it's our job to weigh these different things that come to us, to see if it's, if you have a 50-50 thing, or if it's 60%, 70% one way or the other, and that's how we make decisions of that we're representing the majority of our constituents. So
I totally agree with you.
I think that's what we should do. We should get some community input. And there may be some community here now that has input as well. And that starts the conversation going of what we can do and what's attainable and achievable to reach everybody's goals in the future.
I totally agree with you. I had a little bit of a reminder of that last week. So, all right. Motion by Commissioner Langston, second by Commissioner Carey. All right, anybody from the public?
Christy McElroy. I'm a little curious how this property is seen by Florida statute. It's not eminent domain, so would it be surplus property? That's something I'd like Clint to kind of look into, and y'all should too. Also, I'm curious, has anyone had any conversations with George Gonzalez concerning this particular Liberty Networks entity and that property?
No, I have so.
Okay, so of course, the deed does say this is to the taxpayers, and that deed's been in place since 2006, something like that.
St. Joe company would have to be on board.
Absolutely. So anyway, I think that's the main thing, because as y'all have expressed, there have been some other parties that are interested. And I think, what's the appraisal on the property?
Right.
So, all right, thank you.
May I just have one question?
Uh-huh.
To the point of tabling it and examining the legalities, could you help me understand what that timeline looks like so that we know how to, just what to expect? Is that something that happens
By the next meeting.
by the next meeting? Okay, perfect.
I imagine they can make a phone call fairly quickly and figure out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Jeff, there you go.
Yeah. One more, you got it. Mr. Robert Branch?
Robert Branch, 1016, and I'm hard of hearing, and I think y'all already answered my question. I appreciate the concerns y'all have for this property, because I've probably been one of the few that was in the neighborhood that spoke on this, and the intentions of this property, and y'all pretty much told me what I wanted to hear, and might already said it, so, the way St. Joe's growing, and the people, I'm not gonna say fighting over real estate. I'm not gonna say that right now, but actually may I ask her how she first heard about this property? I know the reason I'm asking, I can't help but notice that Mission Gulf County is a hub for this, at Salinas Park. In other words, what you said is, to make this work, it would have to be within 6 miles of Salinas Park.
Roughly speaking, yes.
Yeah, not necessarily within 6 miles, just based on the type of technology that's utilized. That's the optimum within 7 miles.
So it could be further
It could.
or shorter.
Right.
And I look at probably more of the property appraisal site in there as much as anybody, probably more than I need to. And that's the question I asked, and surely, and I've already looked, because I've got a stack of paper I was gonna submit, but sometimes, but so, is there other property? Just as probably
As long as the elevation is, you know, optimized.
The elevation, you talking about the flood zone elevation? What elevation would that be?
Flood zone X ideally,
You have to have an X-ray?
ideally.
So you don't have to elevate. So you don't have to elevate. it.
Correct.
Okay, I mean, well, okay, say, well, yeah, I appreciate you.
Come on up.
I want to piggyback off Mr. Robert, what he just said, Marvin Davis, 324 Avenue B. The question I'll ask, for the other property, and I was thinking in my head, have you all looked at, Highway 701 area?
Yes, it would be kind of outside of that 6 mile radius, I believe, but I'd be happy to take a look. But I've looked very hard to identify appropriate parcels, and we've talked with other people who have property for sale as well. But for a variety of reasons, none of the parcels that we pursued worked out so far.
Okay. So that was really interesting, especially when you talk about internet and all that. Over in Norfolk St. Joe area, I'm experiencing superior internet service. And if your tower is somewhere close near that, it probably very feasible and beneficial.
So, if I may, I'd like to clarify, this is not a cell phone tower. This is for lack of a better word, maybe a substation. So I know you referenced other people who have come in and brought proposals to put cell phone towers. This is not a cell phone tower. This is also not necessarily your front end consumer internet like a Mediacom or a Consolidated or a Point broadband. This is the global internet, so the big pipes, if you will, that provide the infrastructure to the highway to those other providers. So I want to be clear about that's not what this is. This is more and my colleague might be much better at explaining that than I am.
You did good.
Yeah, so it's not, don't think consumer forward-facing internet like those companies I mentioned. This is the global internet, the big pipe, if you will. So thank you for your time. If there are any other questions, we're happy to entertain them now. If anybody wants to reach out to me, easily found Denise Vickers with Keller Williams Success Realty. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none. All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Nay.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passed
Nay.
3-1. For public works.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just 3 items. First item is being the county road patches. You'll see in your packet, currently an invoice from the county for $19,800 roughly for 3 patches. The county, just to give a little history real quick, several months ago contacted Public Works, the city, and we were instructed that they would be exclusively using Roberts and Roberts for county roads for patching, that we could no longer utilize our own contract. So in doing such, these are the invoices we're starting to receive from the county for that work. The first series of invoices, 3 road patches for the $19,000. There is another one coming for 4 more that will total roughly $36,000. So for 7 patches, we have $55,000 worth of money we, are going to owe the county.
And these are on city roads or?
These are on county roads.
They're on county roads,
Correct.
but they're having to patch it because we have water sewer.
And these were all, water line, they're getting new service lines, things like that. And they're gonna continue to happen.
So in the past, I mean, how many, I'm assuming we've done.
We were doing
Lots of
our own patches for roughly $1,000 a patch. Versus.
$1,000.
Correct. And I was utilizing Jason White, at East Point to do that work. And now we're, paying 89 times for one patch.
We put roughly $400,000 in your budget this year for road paving in there, but as you can see, I know you got road paving projects you want to do, roads around town. This could be gobbled up really quick on patchwork.
Well, I mean, I would make a motion that, I mean, we need to reach out to the county and let's discuss this. I mean, if it's been costing us using a subcontractor, Jason White Construction, $1,000 to repair one, and now it's going to
$6,000 to $9,000.
$6,000 to $9,000. We need
To one
we need
vendor.
to come down and
Correct.
come and figure out a price that's
Now,
affordable for all. of
what
it.
we've done at Public Works is I've talked to my crews and we've backed up, so we no longer, if we don't have to cut a road, we don't. We'll cut service, perform a new bore. So we're trying our best to stay out of these areas, to avoid that, but there will be cases where we have to do it. So we just want to bring this to the board so you knew what was, what we were receiving, correct, from the county.
I don't disagree that it's their road, we do have to repair it. It's our
I
water.
agree, and we had done that, but
Yeah.
apparently not to their liking, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds very fishy to me. When past practice for, I'm gonna guess, 20+ years, and that's important.
That's correct.
So I'm gonna say it twice. Past practice is when this ends up in a lawsuit. They took away what we've been doing as far as repairing the roads. The argument has never been that we don't repair the road. I've never heard from the county or saw where they discussed that our patchwork was not sufficient. And we were spending roughly $1,000 for a lot
Well,
of
yes, sir, that's correct.
and now they have decided just to, out of the blue, send an invoice for, how much was that?
Well, the first invoice for 3 patches was $19,000.
19,000. So they're almost at, 6,000 and change per pothole. It goes to one person, that one company that I think does all of their paving, Roberts and Roberts, correct?
Correct.
When I was being briefed on this, I'm like, surely that's not the way the county did it. But
I don't
sounds like
know
they
what
did. They
policies
passed
they
a resolution on their own, but it makes me think that we are obligated and have always stepped up and patched the road. Caused a water leak or whatever. But we should have some say in how we patch the road. What if they decided to just declare, we need 1/4 mile of this road repaved, and call in Roberts and Roberts? And, they'd be more than happy to do 1/4 mile or 1/8 mile or 100 yards when we have no say whatsoever in how the patch is done. It should be up to the city, not the county. There's a whole lot more to this story than's being told. And I'm gonna say it again, truth always comes to the top. It takes a while, but I think it'll be discovered on what this is really all about.
Okay, we want to
more
bring
than
the
just a
board's
pothole.
attention, because we're starting to get invoices and we are limited on road paving and patching funds, so.
Right, and when the people of the city of Port St. Joe who pay their taxes for the city to be able to pave roads in the city, and we have to stop paying roads in the city because when we're getting bills for $20,000, $30,000, that money's gonna be gone quickly. And then our response is, truthfully, the response will have to be, well, the county voted to strong arm the city and make a pile of money for Roberts and Roberts, and that's why we can't pave our own roads anymore.
I think what I'm seeing is, are these brand new roads that Roberts and Roberts pays?
Some are, some aren't.
Okay,
No, it's a mixed bag.
okay. So, anybody else from the board? This board wishes.
So reach out to the county. We need to talk to the county and we need to come up with a resolution to this. Okay.
All right, so, anybody else from the board? This board wishes. So reach out to the county and we need to talk to the county and we need to come up with a resolution to this. Okay.
Well, we want to bring the board's attention, because we're starting to get invoices and we are limited on road paving and patching funds, so.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think, that's ridiculous. I mean, from 1,000 a patch to what, 7,000, almost?
Six to nine, yeah, depends on the, so, yeah. Call it 7,000 on average.
But they should have made communication and sat down with the city and say, hey, this is what we're gonna change, and giving y'all a heads up. And you have open dialogue.
Most definitely.
You know, in good faith, you negotiate the services that we can afford to do. This even stinks for the county.
Yeah, like I said, I agree, the board should have reached out.
I mean,
to
Jim, but real quick, Jim, did the county reach out at all on any of these items prior to us receiving invoices?
This goes back, Mark Cawthorn, we communicate quite a bit. Mark reached out, which is in your packet, a right-of-way permit. That was the first item that came up. It didn't have anything to do with roads per se, but it required a utility permit for anyone that did work on a county right-of-way. Somehow that transgressed into a road, same old road type bill, but whatever they adopted. I don't have a copy. It's not available on the website. I've asked for copies. I can't get them.
These are the first bills we got.
But these are the first bills we have received. So other than these bills, I have no other information to pass on.
Well, you didn't know anything about it, till you got the bill.
Well, again, right before we were billed this is when I was told that, we are gonna start invoicing. You guys can no longer patch your roads. So,
I understand, but I mean, I own a business, and if I sell services to someone, we know what our costs involved are. And if I turn around and just go to my client and all of a sudden I change the price by 900%, and I didn't have a conversation with them before that or whatever, the next thing you know, they have invoices being stacked up, I assure you, those invoices would not be paid until a discussion is had. And this needs to be addressed immediately to where we can go back and say, look, we were never given this type of increase or anything for what you're wanting to do. And we need to sit down at the table and figure out what, where were we falling short in the past? And is there certain guidelines that need to be go by, certain testing that goes by to make it pass as far as a patch goes, just like a road goes? And if they have a preferred vendor, we can say, well, we've got a quote by someone who can do the same thing and meet those standards. And if you can only work with them, then we need to sit down and come up with a contract price to us.
I completely understand. Like I said, this was just, here it is.
Yeah, this was above our threshold to be able to pay, when we start talking $55,000 for the bill, we're gonna bring it to your team.
Yeah, and if we pay this one, it's almost like agreeing to this ridiculousness that they've come up with. I say don't pay the bill, let them sue the city, and we'll just add it to the list of multiple lawsuits they are already suing them, including the personal lawsuits to 5 commissioners, including the mayor. So.
Do we want staff to go talk to the city?
To the county or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, to the county.
Reach out.
Yeah, most definitely. We need to start out somewhere.
Smallwood and then,
Okay.
Mark. Yeah, we can do that further. Hopefully get information.
Y'all could reach out to Jason Walker.
Yeah. First, let's do that first. We just want to make sure you're aware, because we didn't want to think we were sitting on these bills. We're going to talk with the county. We want to get you on board.
Okay.
Yeah, we may have to get the city residents to expect us to pay their roads. And I agree, that's part of what we should supply. Let them understand that if the county is going to continue to bill us at this, they will exhaust the $400,000 in 6 months' time.
Next item, Mayor, is the, as the board is aware, we were instructed to bid out a couple roof projects we have in the city. The first one on the agenda is for Washington Gym. Now the Washington Gym roof project, just so the board remembers, is the reading room and the kitchen area. We had an alternate which was the front of the gym. So it's not the big main structure of the gym. So this is the reading room, kitchen, and a little corridor area between. So Those bids, the apparent low bidder was Monolith Construction at $101,330.43. Staff's recommendation, if the board wants to move forward, is, to award to Monolith.
Board? It definitely needs to be done.
Motion to approve the bid from Monolith.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hoffman to approve the bid of $101,330.43. Fair second. Second by Commissioner Langston. Anybody from the public?
Yes, sorry. Christy McRoy. So the last time we heard, of course, the bats were in there. So what is FWC done to come back, give sanctions that you can go ahead and do the roof with the fact that there were nesting bats in the area?
I hadn't heard anything lately.
We paid a license contract and put in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Yes, sir. The last item I have is the city commission chambers, which is this building here. We also did, we did that. We compared the bids and they were all over the place. The apparent low bidder was $39,772.82 to Lewis Walker Roofing. Lewis Walker, I believe, are the ones that also did the lighthouse facilities for the city. Not terribly long ago. So, again, staff recommendation is go to parent low, let's negotiate, and we can go from there.
Feel comfortable with them? I guess you're gonna have a conversation with them.
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation for sure. But if the board would like to proceed, we'll need that first, then we can move into those bases and hopefully move forward.
I do have a couple questions on that. I kind of read through some of the specifications of what they were looking at. So for this building, this is, because I saw the range.
It was upward, correct. And most of your bidders, again, they all bid 60 mil, membrane roof systems. They all bid ISO, insulation, or quarter inch slope. So, when you look at it on the surface, they were all there. They all provided labor for removal, replacement, gutters, the metal, the caps, all of that.
Do they all carry the same 20-year?
No, some were 10, some were 15, some were 20. So they were different. Lewis Walker, I believe, has a 20-year material. So he's one of the 20s.
Yeah.
I've heard arguments from a couple other contractors
Yeah.
prior to this moment right here. And, again, we have to go with what we have, not necessarily what, someone that didn't maybe win the bid had to say.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. And again, if it doesn't work out, then we can move down the list, but I think we have to go with what we bid and at least have a conversation with Jim.
I agree. Okay. Board, need a motion? Motion by Commissioner Langston to award for $39,772.82. Third second. Second by Commissioner Hoffman. Anybody from the public? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right. He's our report. Handout.
Commissioners, you should have a handout for the chemical bid for the water treatment plant. And there are some savings this year for ferric sulfate, caustic soda. And I'd like the board's approval to accept Odyssey manufacturing price of $2.75 per gallon for 50% membrane caustic soda. And also Penco's price of $4.69 a dry ton for ferric sulfate.
All right. We do those in one motion, Mr. Attorney.
Yes.
One question, so we're not going to bid for setting the fluoride?
Stay the same? Gotcha. You've heard staff's recommendation. Any questions? Okay, get a motion? Motion by Commissioner Carey. Second by Commissioner Langston. Anybody from the public? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, motion carries 4. Anything else? All right. The wastewater, got any wastewater up there?
He's actually having to do some repair works today, so Joe is actually busy today out in the field in there. If there's any questions for the board, I'll be happy to try to address them for you.
Mike, got anything?
I did have discussions with our FEMA contact. They indicated that the forensic audit of the invoices was complete, but it's still in step 6 of 8. They tell me it's moving in the process. I can't do any more than what I'm doing. So hopefully, we'll get some movement on that.
And who knows how that slowdown is gonna get.
Yeah. There was some change in some of the policy because of the new leadership in the federal government. So there was some changes that they discussed. But I don't know where that's going. But we continue to move forward with the grant reimbursements. And we're about to crank up on the $10 million sewer project in earnest. So we'll have some big processes there. And we have that reimbursement process in place. So we shouldn't see any major impact on that flow, but we're certainly going to monitor it closely. But we're moving forward with grants, yes, sir.
All right, anything else?
That's all I had.
Jim, got a code enforcement update?
They've heard a lot of unlawful accumulations the last couple of weeks on there, asking people to make sure that once you have things stacked up in your yard, to please try to get them out to the landfill as soon as you can. Keep from having to have the paperwork.
Chief, so you got a couple.
I got a couple items. First one is, Jack Grant, I need, permission to off the contract with utility vehicle. The cost is $22,000, I think it's some change. And, $50 of that will come out of my current budget. So that's it's all the grant.
And this is for that low speed vehicle, okay? Everybody understand? Okay, they get a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Kerrigan. Second by Commissioner Hoffman. Anybody from the public?
So low speed vehicle, what is that specifically for?
You want to explain a little bit of that?
It's basically a golf cart. It's a golf cart
Okay, and where will that golf cart be housed?
at the police department.
Okay, and is that for the pedestrian walking path and the pedal only bike path?
If we need to go down there, yes, ma'am.
Okay, because yes, we do have your police force that drive sometimes at very high speeds down that bike path. So, you know, I guess $22,000 for a golf cart? Is it a Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just about fully grant funded, right?
It is $50.
So for $50. Okay. Anybody else from the public on this? Okay, got a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
The next thing is, it's a amendment to our body camera and dash camera contract. They came out with a new body camera with a little more. It will, right now, the officers have to go to the station, drop their body cams in for it to be charged overnight. To download. The new body cameras are the charging port and the download station will be in their vehicles, because we do have some guys that come in, they'll drop their body camera to go home, then something happened on the way home. And they don't have their body camera back in the station on guard. So, that eliminates some of that. And, there's some new technical things with the new body cameras. So it updated our current pricing to about $2,500 a year above what we were paying. And, part of that agreement was a contract, so we needed permission to sign that contract from the board.
I heard the chief. Any questions? Here. I get a motion to sign the contract. A motion by Commissioner Kerrigan.
You to amend it to allow Jake to sign that contract.
Okay. Motion for the chief to sign the contract.
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Kerrigan, second by Commissioner Hoffman. Anybody from the public?
Money spent, I guess, police department. One question I have. Y'all probably, does your officer drive theirs home with the patrol cars or trucks, or they drive them wherever they live in Panama?
Yes.
So what's the reason behind that?
So they need it working.
I worked out of town all my life, and I had my own vehicle. I didn't need a police vehicle.
We have to take on bid. It's our policy. With
50 miles. They didn't have a lot of extra police cars we'd be buying over this duration of.
We're talking about, this is for the body camera.
Yeah, the body cam too. I mean, I see you body cam. Yeah, okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the time.
Anybody else from the public? Seeing none. All in favor? Motion carried.
That's all I have. I'll let you go there.
Thank you. Thank you. City clerk.
Looking at pages 46 and 47, unless you have questions or no major changes. And Mr. Anderson would like to make an announcement.
She just brought a pretty nice phone that somebody maybe dropped in the parking lot. If anybody dropped the phone, it's right here.
A watch.
Also, the Christmas parade, Lieutenant Birch has to request a permit for Christmas parade, which is Saturday, December the 13th. We're asking for your approval for him to submit the request to the state for the permit. It's a form letter. We've done it the last few years. Just need your approval, please, for that.
Your motion for, to apply for that permit. Motion by Commissioner Lance.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kerrigan. Anybody from the public? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
We appreciate your participation in the parade. Give you a good couple months hands on it. We can get it got for, so whatever you want to put in it, available. Saturday, December the 13th. If there are no other questions, I have nothing else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, citizens be heard. Anybody in the public?
Katie McCullers, I live here in Heron Walk, and so I know it was approved to clear the ditch, and I know I've reached out to some of y'all along with other people in the community. First, I want to thank you for, I know it was 70 trees, bushes that were provided for that area to be fixed. I don't know if y'all were, some of y'all were aware, but the ditch was supposed to be cleared on Garrison behind Heron Walk, and it was kind of like ditch gone bad, and then it chopping down trees, palm trees, and it took away our privacy and our sound barrier because it was more than the ditch. So I thank you for the bushes, but I just wanted to say, you know, in the future, if it could be communicated, so we could be here for, like, if you know, like, hey, we're gonna be clearing out a whole area, So we could come as the people to say, hey, we would like to keep our sound barrier if you could just keep it to the ditch. It would save money for y'all to fix it, and also it was a danger for families. I know the one house on the corner that they first hit, limbs were hitting their house. I mean, it wasn't like, it was really bad. And so when we were calling and like, hey, this needs to be stopped, they're clearing out everything. I mean, the only way that it kind of got stopped was that he's like, I'm just gonna go to the speed limit sign, I'll be done for the day. And so it just felt like we weren't being heard that day, trying to get it at least paused. Like, hey, can you send him somewhere else to chop something down? And so anyways, I just wanted to say, if in the future you'd like to clear the ditch again, stay in the ditch if that's possible. But if you do need to go up, just to make the people on that street aware, for safety and just for us to know. I'm not one to come and make a complaint. I'm a nervous wreck. I was like, I don't want to do this. But honestly, my husband would be here, but he's working. So it's hard for people to sometimes come and share. So I just wanted to share on behalf of that. I did also want to say, I know it was 70, and I hate to say this, but there was only 48 bushes. So I don't know what happened to the other 22. Are there? Okay, so I just want to make y'all aware of it too. And so I thank y'all for hearing us, and I just wanted to make y'all aware of it, and thank you again.
While you're there, I do want to mention, that I personally was approached by someone in the community, I'm not gonna name any names, but and asked to clear that area. There was some non-communication and with the individuals in that community. I've since then worked with several individuals in that community and spoke with them and figured out a way to alleviate the situation. I don't believe we understood the sound barrier, the rumble strips, and the safety issues you have. Used to, years ago, the city cleared that area, but there were no houses there at the time. So I believe we're all on the same page, wouldn't you say? And I think we're good.
There may have been, one or two people in the community, but I can let you know, everyone on that strip that it affected, I went to every single house and talked with every single person in that community just to even say, hey, we have a petition to put something back and fix it. First, we had to make a petition to stop it. So someone else in the community went around and did a petition to stop it. Then we had to have a petition to fix it, went again to every single house. And it's a lot of time for us to do that, where it could have simply put something in our mailbox that said, hey, we're clearing out this whole strip of trees, bushes. I mean, if you walk out there, my neighbor, Steve, who put out the flags, his legs were cut up. I mean, shredded from just trying to walk out to put those flags out from the amount of trees and bushes. He's like, I'm scared I'm gonna fall and get impaled because there is just giant tree trunks just laying out jagged like this. It just is a mess. And so if there could have just been something in the mailbox, hey, we are going to do this. If you are in disagreement, please come to this meeting. We're passing it. I guess you all passed it 2 weeks ago. I don't even know. But just in the future, just because it would save us a lot of time.
Absolutely.
And a lot of time.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else?
Take it easy on Mr. Grant, I got it to present to you.
Oh, no, how about that?
Mr. Pro Temp Mayor, I was just pretty much everything out of my papers are kind of scribbled up to you, Ms. Hopkins. And if y'all don't get all the papers that the mayor got, I will present them later for the record. I actually got two items I'd like to discuss. I'll be real brief. I appreciate what y'all, Field of Dreams, adoption was good. I appreciate how y'all stood up, for the children, you know, the dream. So what I want to, cover is, and are y'all aware, the item I give you, that, the county has voted to change the name of that road actually in, November 6th of 24. Y'all aware of that? That's the minutes from the county meeting when the county, and I would like to read them to y'all for the record. This is the county minute. County Administrator Hammond reported the church, First Baptist, has purchased building permits and staff recommendation is to change the name to Church Avenue. Chairman Quinn called for a motion. County Attorney Novak noted staff has a speaking orders on this. So Ms. Sharon Gaskin, CEO of North Florida Child Development, appeared before the board to request the board keep the current road name, noting her business has been, as always, on the Field of Dreams Road since 2013. She requested the board wait on deciding the name change until the new board members were seated. Ms. Gaskin discussed her concerns regarding documents, many federal, state, and local, that are tied to the current road name. That was left out, but that's what she said. Upon inquiry by Commissioner McCrone, Administrator Hammond stated it was the church members requesting the road name, noting there is no Field of Dreams and no plans to have one anytime soon. So y'all just talked about that, and that's what your county administrator said less than a year ago. But I'm gonna add to that because y'all need to watch the meeting. So I'm gonna quote what Mr. Hammond said that then. He said, the only way is if we hit the lottery. Now, I'm gonna move on. Ms. Gaskin returned to the podium and politely asked again, please do not do it. I have needs to submit something to the board for considering table this until next meeting. For whatever reason, I'll never understand, Commissioner McCrone, which is a member of that church, he actually made the motion to approve changing the name to Church Avenue. Once he done that, he had 4 following. They unanimously voted 5-0. Now, I've talked to, I'll be brief, I've talked to more than one church member, long-standing church members of that particular church since then. And he went around the church board. And he went around it. So he didn't get their blessing on that. It should never been voted on that. It sure shouldn't have been voted to change. So my question to y'all, were y'all aware of this?
Got a motion for more time?
Somebody.
I appreciate it.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Appreciate it. So were y'all aware of this, or has this been kind of brushed under the table like a lot of things going on here?
I don't believe I was aware of it, but I believe it's a county road, so, I mean, it's.
Okay, when you said that, I appreciate you saying that because you have the documents in your hand, I presented, and actually I took out, I've got a stack that high that I didn't present. Now, from to clear that up, here's environmental resource permit, a joint from the Corps of Engineers, DEP, and Northwest Florida dated 2009, where Charlie Weston's name's all over it. Project name, Field of Dreams Avenue. That's the main thing. County, Gov. Owner, City of Port St. Joe, right here, plain state. That's the surface water management. That's your infrastructure where everything's been paid for. From 2009 until 2012, when that road was completed, I have that, road was completed in 2012. And Ms. Gaskin, she is a nonprofit, she slipped her and got her 2.5 acres, good, everybody's proud. And you have the other document showing right there of the duties. And with me saying that, here's pictures 2 months ago, this is our county inmates, city inmate worker and inmates cutting that, they've always kept it up. The city has kept that road up since it was built. So y'all have the documents in your hand. One more thing, and I'm real perplexed or to say the least, why I've got actually a text from her, from Miss Gaston, saying, it's actually from, Mr. Anderson several months ago that she actually texted you and you told her that it was a county maintained road. So I can't figure out why you would tell her that.
To my understanding, I thought it was a county road. If you'll provide that to us, we'll be happy to research it, Robert, but I thought that was a county road.
As long as it's an honest mistake, I'll provide all the information. I actually took it, I've got all. I'll present that for the record again. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put in the record the multi-use path that the city applied for. It began in 2003, and then it was 12/18/2003, and it went through, you asked for extension 2009, and that multi-use path extension went through 2/19/2011. That is a walking path and a non-motorized bicycle path, according to your ordinances and according to this. I have emailed you a copy of this, clearly shows that the name of this, grant, this permit is Port St. Joe Boardwalk in Wetlands. So you've decided to make this a golf course. Now, I realize I bought my house in 2007, but when I bought my house in 2007, there was no golf course. There were a few people that would go back there and play golf, but nothing like what we have seen happen. The whole point of this multi-use path was, and it's clearly in here, to keep people on the path and out of the wetlands. It's a detrimental decision to destroy wetlands. I want you to know, and I'm going to give you copies of this. I started playing golf. I got my first set of golf clubs when I was 4 years old. My father was club champion a number of times over in Panama City. By the time I was 4, I was always on the weekend. I would be with him as he played with his guys, and I learned a lot of good things from him. One is proper etiquette. By the time I was 4, you don't chatter, and you just don't walk across a man or a woman's line, and you make sure that you never hit into someone. What I'm seeing out there with ladies with baby carriages, old men with walkers, myself, the branches were hit into, Mr. Kerrigan, it's not compatible. And that was not what that was meant for. And it's poor etiquette. And a golf ball can travel 140 to 200 miles per hour with a wood or a low number iron. Even Tiger Woods has hit bystanders with a golf ball. So I'm gonna ask y'all to, and before I leave, I just wanna say one more thing. I'm asking for any permits as it pertains to building that golf course. Because in the state of Florida, it's very clear there are certain standards you have to adhere to according to Florida statute. So I'm written down all of my questions. I want any emails between you and neighbors concerning this golf course. And I want all permits for the golf course.
Is that a public record request?
It is, and it's in writing, and according to Sunshine Law, it's a spoken request, but I also took the time to put it on this permit for this multi-use path, 2 items. So I'll give that to the clerk.
Thank you.
And then I would, just so y'all don't think I'm, sending smoke or anything, is we spend our life on weekends at golf course.
Right. Ms. Charles, you got anything?
Jim, contrary to Ms. McElroy's opinion, excuse me, opinion, when I was in school back in the sixties, a long, long time ago, in a different century, we were taught golf for summer recreation in that very spot. It has been there for many, many years as a golf area to go and enjoy.
And it's not compatible though, once you build a walking and golf path. And fascinating. Thank you.
Anybody else from the vote? Seeing none. Start with Commissioner Langston. You got anything,
I
sir?
have anything.
Mr. Terry?
I'm always so bad. I'll be quick. I actually have already brought it up once. I just want to reiterate the importance of the city maintaining our equipment a block away at Heron Wall. You cannot allow city sewage to enter into a private person's backyard. Especially when they have young children in that backyard utilizing their own yard. We have to fix it. So I'm going to continue to bring it up until we fix it. Because we will continue to have breakdowns, mechanical breakdowns. That's understandable, but we should exhaust all means possible to mitigate raw sewage going on someone's private property. The city should have bought that lot because I hear, well, you know, it's so close to the lot. Well, we should have bought the lot back in the day when it was first platted out. We had plans. But anyway, that needs to go. And I will speak on this. We call it a golf course or we call it a golfing area, whatever. I will say that I have had, and you've seen some of the emails, we've received emails with photographs of families, children experiencing golf. I've had 2 other people text me with photographs, thank me for revitalizing that area. So I think the community, you know, a lot of times we get scolded for not hearing from the community. But on this golf course, or golfing area, we've been there since the 60s. I see community support, and I think we need to continue to cut it, groom it, and use it. That's all I have.
Yeah, I'll touch a little bit on that as well. I've heard nothing but positive feedback on the golf course until now. But I'm with you with continuing to cut it and groom it.
What do you do when a person is hit with a golf ball?
Play at your own risk. That's the way it's always been.
No, sir, that isn't correct. You need to look at Florida statute, and I would suggest that you never.
I mean, at the same time, I mean, what do you do if it's a walking and bike, path? What if somebody hits you on a bike? What are we gonna do?
Well, again, a golf ball travels 140, and you specifically hit into the branches.
I hit nowhere near the branches.
You did.
No, I
And
didn't.
those tee boxes, and I've already have golf balls in my backyard because there's a bunch of hacking dogs out there.
That would not be me or your father probably, but
No, it would not be my dad, and he wouldn't be doing that in the first place because he had good sense.
All right, I don't have anything else. Motion to adjourn. Motion, second. All second.
Hey,